Hey everyone, welcome to another Journey Midweek Connection. Glad to have you joining us today. Today I want to just continue in the theme that we started on Sunday. This last Sunday we looked at the passage of scripture that Jesus talks about how we can be good neighbors to the people around us by loving them as we love ourselves, as he shared about the Good Samaritan. And in that, we were challenged to love people in a genuine way that pointed them to Jesus and in a way that reflects our faith and our trust in him and our devotion to him as well. And so I hope this week you've been able to carry that out in the relationships that you have and maybe even with some that you don't have quite yet. But like I said, to continue in that theme, today I wanted to talk about the idea that the Bible talks about with hospitality. The Bible talks about this often, and it's a gift that some people have, but it's something that we're all called to share. Hospitality is the way that we love people in real, tangible ways as we welcome them in, as we make them feel comfortable, at ease, in a place where they can be cared for and loved in real, genuine ways. 1 Peter 4:9 says, "Show hospitality to one another without grumbling." Don't do it with a complaint in your heart. Romans 12:13 says, "Contribute to the needs of the saints and seek to show hospitality." Hebrews 13:2 says, "Do not neglect to show hospitality to strangers." And even Leviticus, way back in the Old Testament, chapter 19, verse 34, it says, "You shall treat the stranger who sojourns with you as the native among you, and you shall love him as yourself. For you were strangers in the land of Egypt. I am the Lord your God." And I could continue. There are many other passages that pick up on this theme and this call for us to practice hospitality to those that are fellow believers, but also those that don't know Jesus either, those that are strangers amongst us. And this challenge for us is a real way that we can show love to our neighbors in the days ahead. And I want to just give you a few ideas for how you can practice hospitality in a few different areas. The first is you can practice hospitality here at church, and you don't even have to be one of our greeters or ushers. To think about this, I want to give you a story. A few years back, I had the chance to go to a football game at Lambeau Field in Green Bay, Wisconsin, where I watched the Green Bay Packers play. And their ticket system, in order to get into a game, works in the way that everyone who goes to games has season tickets, and they hold on to those, and most of them go to every single game. But those that don't go to the game, they can sell those season tickets to other people. And the reason why I share that is because we bought, our tickets from a third-party site from someone who wasn't going to be going to that game, and they sold those tickets. And so we show up, we go to our seats, and once we've sat down, the people in front of us turn around and they introduce themselves to us, and they say, "You must be in so-and-so seat," because they're used to turning around and seeing the season ticket holders that sit behind them. But they were so kind, and they welcomed us. Then they introduced us to everyone that sat around them because they knew everyone else as well. And they said, "If you have any questions or need anything, let us know. We're going to have a great time today." And I walked away from that experience thinking that, yes, it was an incredible football game, and I'm sure the Packers won. But even more than that, I was thinking, man, that was an incredible display of hospitality, and how amazing would that be if the church operated in this way all the time? Like many of you, I know, like myself, we sit in similar spots week in and week out when we come to attend church on Sunday. And so my challenge to you, church, is that in your normal spot that you usually sit in, while you're waiting for our worship gathering to start, I want to challenge you, turn around and get to know some of the other people that sit in your area. And if you don't recognize them, introduce yourselves. Tell them, "Welcome to Journey." Introduce them to some of the other people that you do know that are sitting around you, and make sure that you are practicing this hospitality where you're welcoming them in, loving them where they're at, asking them if they have any questions, and then maybe addressing some of the needs that they might have. That would create an incredible environment in all three of our services for newcomers to come in, but also for those that have been coming here for a long time and have just never met anyone. So church, let's practice hospitality in that way. Another way that you can do that at church is this coming Monday, we have our annual trunk or treat. There are going to be thousands of people that are coming from our community onto our church campus that maybe have never been here before, or at least never stepped foot inside of our church building. What an incredible opportunity for us as Christians to practice hospitality, to love people well in a way that points them to Jesus. Because by the end of the night, wouldn't it be amazing if they walked away with not just bellies full of candy and maybe some free hot dogs and a fun time, but they walk away wondering, man, what is it about those people that they were so genuine, that they were so loving, that they were so welcoming, that they were so eager to invite us in? What is it about them that causes them to love in that way? Because if people walk away with that question, they're going to want to know more. And then we get to share with them the incredible news of Jesus and why we live and love the way that we do. I want to also challenge you to do this in the world around you. Show and practice hospitality, welcoming and loving and caring for people out in the world, whether you're at the grocery store or waiting in a waiting room or wherever you happen to find yourself. You can practice hospitalities in those ways as well. And one other area, show and practice hospitality in your home. There are so many people here at the church that are longing for community, and you might be one of them. And maybe one of the ways that you can do that is by inviting someone over to your home to share a meal, whether that be after church or some evening during the week. But practice hospitality by inviting people in. And don't be afraid to go above and beyond in loving people well, making sure that they're comfortable and at ease and that they feel like they belong to something that is more than just themselves. And so, church, if we're going to love people in the way that Jesus has called us to, one of the ways that we can do that is by practicing hospitality. And so my hope, my prayer is that we all would be stepping forward in that in tangible ways in the days ahead, because in that, we're going to be a beautiful representation of Christ and the church that he desires us to be. Have a great week.